Originally, I'm from over the bridge, the Montgomery County area. Ethnically, I am Panamanian and African-American. My dad is the Panamanian side. My family originates from Cologne, and my dad came here in, I want to say, the 80s. I think maybe when I was younger, but in recent times, probably in the last like 10 years, no, not really. Maybe when I was at like elementary school age, just because a lot of the Latinas I was around kind of looked like J-Lo, and I really don't look like J-Lo. So I think I was kind of torn there, but once I got older and I kind of understood the dynamic of just having being multi-ethnic in general, I kind of grew out of it. Yeah, I actually have them more often than I would expect, at least in 2023. A lot of times the kind of descent is that, so I'm a no sabo kid, which is basically like I don't, Spanish is not my second language. I'm learning it a little later in life, but I wasn't raised to speak it. So a lot of times it's like, well, you don't look it, you don't speak the language, then like, are you just parading around, kind of masquerading as something you're not? At this point, I'm old, I'm grown, I kind of don't care, because it's like, if that's what you think, then that's what you think. Ultimately, I know when I go home and my grandma makes dinner, I'm having arroz con pollo, and that's just gonna be my business. I think a lot of the benefits are just what it would be if you had a single ethnic background, which is just like community comes with being very like confident with your ethnicity and very comfortable in it. So I kind of have it twofold. I have being African-American, so I have the African-American community from my African-American side of my family, and then I also have being Panamanian, so I have the Panamanian community from my Panamanian side of my family. I think a big lesson that I learned was, so sometimes on social media there's this narrative that like some other Afro-Latinas, I have never subscribed to this, but some other Afro-Latinas would be like, I'm not black. And I kind of think that's absurd, because when we get into like race and things like the difference between race and ethnicity, obviously it comes down to like phenotype versus where your family hails from. But I think being at an HBCU has definitely reaffirmed my sense of my own blackness. Not that I was ever really faltering in it, but I think more than anything it's made it stronger. Like, I'm confident in my own blackness, but I'm also simultaneously equally as confident in my own Latina-ness. So I think that's been a good benefit. My most positive experiences, I think a lot of times when like there are like Caribbean events, I really enjoy them, because I'm like, oh my gosh, this is like being back home. It's like being in my house, you know, like hearing like a switch up of music or a switch up of just kind of like they had Carnival last spring, which was like super cool. As far as like negative experiences go, I run into kind of like some stereotypical conversations, some stereotypical narratives, and maybe people feel comfortable expressing them to me because they don't know I'm Afro-Latina until I tell them. But I think with everything, it comes from a place of like maybe not being around that group of people often, or just from a place of not knowing. I don't think it's ever really come from a place of malice, at least in my experience. It's just more of a like well, let me correct you there for a hot second kind of thing. Happy Hispanic Heritage Month.